These days, I'm a changed man.
46.
I'm different now. Well,
47.
you know who I am. Micro-repeater implanting sequence complete.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Apparently it's just the week to dump all the really cool Marvel stuff. So we got a new look at armor upgrades that we have not seen before, so I'll break it down. It doesn't confirm time jump, but a lot of websites are reporting time jump because Iron Man supposedly has what they're calling the Mark 85 armor. So it's another one of those Iron Man 3 situations where you go from the first couple versions of the armor, you jump a whole bunch, and you wind up in the 40s. So this time we're up in the 80s. So if this is going to be RDJ's last big movie appearance for a good long while, then it seems like he's going out in style. There's a new round of that Spider-Man PS4 giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. So obviously we have to start with the Iron Man armor because this seems pretty epic. The most classic of armors, yet the most epic of upgrades. So the reason why I'm saying Mark 85 is because that's what websites are reporting, and apparently that's just whoever dropped these pictures was calling it Mark 85. So what seems like happened is that these are pictures that were given to the toy manufacturers, and that's where they're coming from. Although I am partially convinced that Marvel is quietly leaking little things like this out, because a little while ago there was some concept art that I've used in my videos before, this big picture that looks similar to some of the character designs that showed up in this new stuff that just dropped the other day. So if it's coming from a couple of different sources and it's not all the exact same piece of art, then there's got to be something behind it. Marvel is the master of marketing their films quietly by leaking stuff to the press early. That's usually how it starts before they start dropping official stuff. The weird thing about this though is that whoever dropped these blurred some of the body portions, but you can tell exactly what's going on, so it seemed kind of pointless. So I don't know why they would have done it, because you can clearly tell that this is meant to be just like the Iron Man Mark IV with the golden arms, like very classic Iron Man comic book armor, yet because it's the Mark 85, it's like the Thanos Buster quantum armor upgrade from the nanite Mark 50 that he was using during Infinity War. Now, like I referenced Iron Man 3, so a little bit of time had gone by when we picked up an Iron Man 3. He was still dealing with the trauma of the Battle of New York, and he just spent all of his time creating all kinds of different armors. So it wasn't like many years had gone by and he made one armor per year. He just made a whole bunch of armors within the span of a very short amount of time. Everything we've seen so far and heard about his arc during Avengers 4 is that he picks up, he's still in trauma. He hasn't really made that many armor upgrades. There was some concept art when they were first dropping teasers for Avengers Infinity War that showed him inside his armory, inside the new Avengers base. We still haven't seen that, so they probably either cut that out completely in the early stages of planning Infinity War, or they just decided to move this scene to Avengers 4. The whole idea being that once he gets his shit together, Ant-Man teaches them about the quantum realm, they meet Captain Marvel, they actually have a plan for saving everyone, and they start running around doing things. Then he starts iterating, or there is a legit time jump, and this is somewhere further in the future. I think it's more plausible that he just had a bunch of different design changes that he went through in the computer, then he finally found something that he liked, he fabricated that, and that's why it's Mark 85. The arc reactor is a little bit different too, but I'm assuming it works the same way. He has nanites within it that build the suit around him. But I think just in general, you can call this version of the armor, if this is going to be the final armor that he wears, the Quantum Thanos Buster. Because why wouldn't you try to power your armor up with quantum energy? And obviously it's going to be them defeating Thanos, and even though his Mark 50 was really badass, he didn't know that Thanos was coming. So in the way that he was surprised by what happened with the Hulk during the first Avengers movie, by the time you get to Age of Ultron, he's created Veronica, the Hulkbuster. Same idea with Infinity War and Avengers 4. They encounter and lose to Thanos. He probably upgrades his armor to become the Thanos Buster. The War Machine design looks pretty much the same as we saw in that previous concept art that I talked about. Remember the Russo's teaser pic, how a lot of people wondered if this device was going to be the proton cannon? This picture doesn't really do anything to confirm that. Wouldn't be surprised if Iron Man gave War Machine some of his nanite hand-me-downs. Like, that's the whole thing, is that Iron Man introduces something really cool, then slowly, after a couple of movies, War Machine gets his hands on some of the tech. Like, Iron Man always gets the coolest brand new version of whatever it is that he's been working on. Cap scale armor with the helmet looks on point. We saw some of these earlier this week, so people were talking about the scale armor. The rest of these pictures dropped a little bit after that. No sign of the prototype shield that Iron Man has been working on since Spider-Man Homecoming. A lot of theories about how that's going to work, because it would make sense that it's still vibranium, but because of all the nanite tech, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a combination of the energy shield in the classic vibranium shield, so that it still looks like the classic shield, but it just forms around him the same way that his Panther shield gauntlets formed around him during Infinity War. Websites are reporting that Thor has new armor in this picture, but to me, honestly, it looks the exact same as the Infinity War armor. Really, the biggest changes for him were getting the cybernetic eye and getting Stormbreaker, and because that's meant to be the ultimate weapon, and it's already proven itself capable of killing Thanos, you just need to go for the head. There really aren't that many upgrades that you could give it. Thor is about as powerful as he's ever going to get. We get some more high-res pictures of Professor Hulk. This looks exactly the same as the armor that we saw in the concept art previously. Remember, it's kind of silly for Hulk to wear armor, but it's more meant to be a functional piece of clothing that Banner can walk around in and the Hulk at the same time, so that he doesn't shred his pants every single time that he hulks out. Captain Marvel's costume looks exactly like it did at the end of the Captain Marvel trailer. No real surprises there, not expecting any big costume upgrades between this, the end of Captain Marvel, and the end of Avengers 4. More pictures of Thanos in the full armor with the sword and a repaired Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Gems in it. This looks exactly like the concept art that we saw before, so no real big change since the last time we saw this. Black Widow with her red hair and blonde tip ponytail. The only real reason why they're leaving the tips blonde is just to give you a sense of continuity between the end of Infinity War and what she looked like and what she looks like during Avengers 4. Like, a little bit of time has gone by, they've done some living, they're all dealing with the trauma of having lost to Thanos. The last big one, probably one of the coolest, because we haven't seen too much of Hawkeye in his Ronin gear, or at least full Ronin gear, but you see him in the full ninja gear with the stitch cowl and a sword, no bow in sight, but we have seen him in behind-the-scenes set pics with the bow, so he still uses a bow, they just didn't include it in this concept art. I've already done a couple Ronin Hawkeye videos explaining why he looks like this and how they're pulling from Easter eggs in the comics and the secret invasion aspects of it all, the Skrulls. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about all these new armor changes, particularly the Iron Man upgrade? Because it seems pretty epic and it sounds like something that they would do. Like, if this is going to be RDJ's last big movie for a while, we're going to do something really classic that's a callback to the comics, but really epic at the same time. And speaking of, coming back, I think we'll all expect some of these people, even if they don't come back for a while, to come back for some huge Secret Wars style giant multiverse crossover in many, many years in the future. No ideas when they would actually do that. But speaking of big X-Men crossover, they are dropping the first official Dark Phoenix trailer tonight. Of course, I'll do a video for it. They didn't say what time, so just be looking at my Twitter feed. I'll tell everybody when it drops. I'll start working on my video so we can freak out about that later. I'll name a giveaway winner when I post that. So click here to learn more about what's going on with Hawkeye, and click here to learn all about black costume Tom Holland Spider-Man during Far From Home. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.